keep accidentally ending the video. But Sprinkles is sniffing me like she wants to be my friend, even though she actually hates me. We can just hope that my phone doesn't fall from above here. But I'm just going to finish grooming him. Squeak is getting really big. He's actually giant right now. But he has a lot of hair to shed. So I'm either going to have to do this a few times a week. But Squeak is like above my head right now. Like, I don't know if you can tell. He's standing downhill, but he is big. I gravitate towards bigger animals though. I like bigger horses and bigger cows and stuff. I'm going to have to start fly spraying them as well because I don't know if you can tell, but there's flies on them. So this is me by his butt area. I just like to, even though he's big now, even when he was a calf, I like to just brush and touch and rub everywhere I can. He has a little mark here. Sorry, bud. He might poop because his tail's up and I'm worried, but he's going to poop on my head or something. But basically, since Squeak was a baby, I've always messed with his feet and his legs and his tail and things. Because as a kid, because I'm 18 now, but when I had Squeak about 2 to 3 years ago, I was only, 18, 17, probably like 16 or 15 or so. I was probably like about 15 when he was born. I probably was just turning 16 that year because he was born in September. I turned 16 in April, so I was probably 15 when he was born. So obviously as a kid, I mess around with him and play with him and bother him and stuff and things like that. So like honestly, I'm gonna try to pet her. Hi, Sprinkles. Hi, girl. Come here. She's probably gonna kick out, so I'm not gonna bother with her. But from a baby, I would just mess with Squeak all the time. Ah! You guys fell. I would just mess with Squeak all the time as a baby when he was like a calf because I thought that it was like necessary. And like I said, as a kid, you kind of mess around with your animals more. I did like TikToks with him and I danced with him and things like that. Like, so he's used to me being around him. Sprinkles. I've jumped on his back before. Not anything mean, but I'll just like lay over his side, things like that. So he's always been very calm and like very like, I guess you could say docile because I've always messed with him. Now him and Sprinkles are messing around, but I've always messed with him. So he's always been calm with me. He's never shown anything. He's never kicked out at me, nothing like that, even as a calf. But I also do believe that sometimes it's just in their nature to be nice. So I don't know. Get out of there. Right here is kind of like how he's pushing his head up against me, like that. Just push him away. Whoa, there is like some nasty flies. Jeez. I'm watching you, Sprinkles. He looks pretty good. He stays pretty clean. Making sure he has a few little like just gnat bites on his chest. I'm just gonna make sure there's no ticks or anything. Things like that. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, I've always messed with Squeak from a young age, so I can pick up his feet and things, and he doesn't care really at all. Like this is, I'm showing you guys why I don't think he is, I would eat him. People want me to send him away and things. I don't think it's necessary because he doesn't do anything that would ever hurt me. If he ever showed a sign of aggression, obviously at that point is when I have to think about that. But Squeak, Squeak, oh, Squeak. No. Squeak. Okay. Lovely. I was recording a video of him and now he knocks my phone off of the thing. No, that's not green. That's not green.
Oh, your phone?
Yep. Thank you. That's not green. It's your brushes. Squeak. Okay. Where's Squeak? Oh, he's right by my butt. Eating some hay. Alright, finish. He thinks that there's grain in... No! He thinks that there's grain in his bucket right here, but it's just his brushes. Hi, Squeaky boy. Oh God, oh God, he's gonna lick me. I know it. Ah! He almost ate my AirPod right out of my ear. Okay, I should have brought something out to set my phone in. Here is his butt. So I was gonna show you guys what I meant by how I work with his feet. So this is Squeak right here, looking at us. If I like bend down, I can touch all along his foot, and he does not care. Sometimes he'll even let me pick it up. He kind of yanks. He's not a horse, but once he stops, I put it down. He doesn't care. I mean, I treat him like a horse, so he kind of, I feel like he thinks he might be. I used to put a horse blanket on him. So now, I'm gonna just brush up his legs. So basically what I was saying about Squeak is he's good. Like, I don't have him tied to anything right now, nothing. Sprinkles won't come near me, Squeak will. I like having a cow here that I can brush when I want to and stuff, and not have to worry about it running away or having to chase him, yada yada, so forth. He just is right here, hi Squeak, all the time. Don't eat my hair. And he's good. He's personable. He's nice, but he's not overly personable where he's going to ram you or think that he's bigger than you or think he's smaller than he actually is and try to hurt you in that sense. He doesn't think he's like, some cows are just so big and they're so friendly that they get like overly friendly and then they think that they can just ram into you. He does realize his size, I feel like, because anything he does, it's never anything that's going to hurt me or anybody else. Touch things like that, he's not going to kick you. I'm not worried about him. I mean, I'm always cautious because it is a cow. They're a lot stronger than horses, in my opinion. And he just rubs snot all over my back end. That's okay. Hi, buddy. I can brush his face. He's honestly kind of like a horse, just minus the whole riding aspect. I mean, I could get on him. I laid on him before. Maybe I'll do bull rides. He's not a bull, but steer rides. And he'll just let me pretty much do anything. I always kind of steer away, unless I'm brushing, I steer away from touching this part. A few people have told me that this is what they use to like see as you start rubbing his head starts moving around. They normally can get rammy when you mess with that area. So I stepped in poop. I normally stay away from that area. So when I pet him on his face or under his little chin, big chin actually now, but his little chin, things like that, just to keep him nice and calm. Okay, Squeak, that's my phone again. You guys are in the gate, in the fence, so we can't get to you guys. Okay, so I'm finishing up brushing him from here. Sprinkles, Squeak, she's gonna try to kick me. Okay, I just brushed her. I put the brush on her. He's trying to figure out what you guys are. Ah! Okay, my last video ended in sad circumstances of Squeak licking my phone to death. This is Sprinkles. Hold on, let me turn my camera. She's been getting a little more friendly, but still, like, I took the brush to her for a second. She doesn't let me do much with her, so she's eventually gonna go to her home. But here's a brush. I'm gonna brush out his tail. He's looking because I have this here, and normally that means green, so I'm gonna... Oh my gosh, Squeak is peeing. Okay, I thought it was Sprinkles. Okay, so I'm gonna just brush out his tail now. Okay, he's right here. He stands pretty still. I'm just brushing it out. They naturally have like nice curly tails, but I brush it, make sure there's not any like mats or knots in it, just from living outside. I'm sorry if you guys can see Squeak peeing. It's kind of gross, but it's okay. It's funny, kind of, actually. I don't know what the heck he's doing, but all right. So sometimes I even use this as like you can get a lot of hair out with this too. Again, like I said, he doesn't care about any of this. You can tell he doesn't even move his feet to think about trying to kick me. Like, you can see this. Like, I mess around with him all the time. I go back here. And is it safe to do this? No. Actually, it's not. You probably shouldn't do this. But at the same token, I want to make a nice cow out of him. And in order to do that, they have to be used to you being everywhere. Because if I know it's not safe, like I said. But if I just spend all my life here and here, if one day when he's 3 years old, I decide to go back here and surprise him, and I've never been back here before, what's gonna Squeak? No, don't end my video. What's gonna happen? Because he's not gonna be used to me being back there. So sometimes you do have to do, with animals anyway, sometimes you have to do some things that are a little uncomfortable and like not good. I'm not saying to do anything terrible, but things like that, just standing there for just a second, just helps a lot. Because now he's used to me being back here from when he was a calf. So he's knows that that's my space as well, not just his. Otherwise, he's gonna poop. Thank God I wasn't there. Otherwise, what's gonna end up happening is as he gets older and things, if you leave that space to be his space, in my opinion, a lot of people might disagree with me on this, but if I leave that to be just his space, eventually, when I do decide, or if I forget and I walk behind him quick, he might throw a kick at me because he's like, you've left that as my space all this time, and now you're deciding to touch my butt, you know? So that's why I establish that when I'm out here with him, I can control everything on him. If I wanted to, I could put the halter on him, I could walk him away, I can bring him wherever, I can brush wherever, I can touch wherever, and when I'm here, it's not just his space. You know, here he is following me around. He's like a puppy. Oh, you tripped, baby. Are you okay? He tripped. But basically, I established from a young age that everything on him can be touched and messed with and played with, and he can't tell me I can't be in there. Sprinkles, on the other hand, I'm sure the audio is gonna be terrible in my AirPods and it's windy. Sprinkles, on the other hand, we have a problem with her. She thinks that everything around her is her space. If I go back here, she might try to kick at me because she thinks that's her space. So from a young age, I kind of messed up with Sprinkles because I didn't do as much with her because she was always kind of a kicky cow. And I let her think that kicking is the answer to get me out of her space. So now she thinks that kicking is the answer. Now, another thing, going back to what I said probably a little bit earlier, is that cows are different from horses. But I believe that cows are harder to train in certain ways. Because a horse, even if you have a horse that does kick and things, you can fix that in them. With cows, sometimes they're just born that way, my opinion. I feel like some cows are just born skittish and some are just born nice and easy to work with. So I think Squeak was just born a nice cow, but it did help that I was with him every step of the way from the time he was born. I helped pull him from the mother, which is also my cow. I helped pull him from her from that second onward. I was handling him. I had a halter on him at probably only about a few weeks old. I was touching him everywhere, messing with him, playing with him, running around with him, things like that. But I was also, during all that time, as even a calf, I established that when I run and run around with him, you don't run towards me at full force and wham into me or whatever. I've always established that when he gets too close, or if he starts trying to like rub his head on me even, I push his head away and I tell him, listen, nope. I say, listen, nope. And I push him away. And he's kind of learned that I have my own space as well. So it's kind of a thing. Like, I can have my space and you can't get into my bubble, but I can get into yours. So it's kind of like that type of thing. Because if you don't do that, you're going to end up with something mean. Now, a lot of people have also told me Holstein bulls can be very, 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 very mean, in the sense of one day they just snap. Now, Squeak isn't a bull. He hasn't been a bull since he was a baby. But he still is a male cow, a male dairy cow, and their temperament isn't always the best. So what I try to do is when he's good, I reward him for that. I don't do a ton of stuff with him where I give him the opportunity to get aggravated. So if I take him out, it's for maybe even 30 minutes. I run him around the indoor and then we come right back here. So I don't give him the opportunity to get to that point and snap. But I think a lot of the time people too is, yes, people have Holstein steers and Holstein bulls, but they are not putting in the time that I am because they probably, most of the time, they're running a farm, right? So the thing is I am running a horse farm, not a cattle farm. So I can give Squeak a lot more attention than I would be able to if I had even 5 cows here. So that's the thing. I started him from a young age, and I don't believe in the whole, I don't believe in the whole, this cow's snap one day. Not every cow is like that. If he showed a sign of aggression, then I'd take it from there. But as of right now, he is perfectly fine. He does not overstep. He stands when I need him to. He lets me brush him. He lets me play with him. He lets me mess with him. He lets me bathe him. Can give him medication if I need to. He's not mean. He's not a bad cow. So in that sense, I don't believe in the whole Holstein bulls will snap one day. No, they could, yes, as could any other animal. A family dog can snap one day. A dog you've had for 10 years and has never even barked or growled can snap one day. A horse can snap one day, because sometimes, yeah, they say enough is enough. So the same thing with the horses is you don't wait for something bad to happen. You don't, my AirPods are gonna be, okay. You don't sit there and lunge them around and they're being perfectly fine, and then they get so annoyed that you've been lunging them and waiting for something that eventually they start bucking, and then you got bucking in their head. So I do the same thing with the cows. Like I said, I treat him like a horse. I do the same thing. I just play with him enough where I know he's comfortable, having fun, not too tired, not getting aggravated or anything, because he doesn't get aggravated. He hasn't shown that to me yet, because I haven't brought that out of him, and I don't want to bring that out of him, because once it gets brought out, you can't really put it back in. So you just leave it there and let it sit there. So yeah, he's a steer. Yeah, he's a male. But same thing with the female dairy cows. They're not bad animals unless you don't do the proper things with them. Larger dairy farms with tons and tons of cows tend to have a little bit more of an unfriendly cow population there. You're not just going to be able to go up and walk up and pet them, because they're not given individual attention. They're milked all day. They're fed, yes, things like that. But are they worked with? Are they pet? Are they haltered constantly? Are they messed with? Are they, are they a cow? Are they acting like a normal animal? Are they put out in a field to be able to graze and kind of do their thing? No. So there's that problem. But then I've been to other dairy farms where they might have a ton of cows, but the person that owns the farm is very hands-on. These cows are bottle fed, messed with day in and day out, haltered. They're trained. They're taught from day one how to act, and they typically, you can go down the aisle and pet them. Smaller dairy farms as well. Normally, smaller dairy farms have nicer cows, and that is just what I've observed. Is it a fact? Is it based on research? Never looked it up. Maybe it's out there somewhere. But all I'm saying is these cows are handled by me, at least Squeak, all the time. Sprinkles from the very beginning like to kick. So I knew from the very beginning I probably was going to put her on a line one day. So I haven't done crazy stuff with her like I have with Squeak. Squeak doesn't have the potential to reproduce or be on a line. And obviously he's not going to be able to breed anything. So he's a pet. So I work with him day in and day out all the time. And that's how I got him to where he is. He's a giant animal, but he's very, 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 very sweet. And he's personable. And I can easily bring somebody over here outside of the fence and let them pet him, and he'll come right up and let them pet him. So, in all honesty, Squeak is an amazing cow in that sense. I can teach kids or people about an animal and not have to worry about hurting myself. So, I like that. I want to do a summer camp. Squeak will be in the summer camp. Definitely. He's the only cow I trust to have a kid lead around. I lead him around. My mom has led Squeak around. And my mom doesn't know much about animals. So, in reality, I could probably by the time summer rolls around, it could be different. But as of right now, I would put a show halter on him and teach a kid how to show a cow. And I wouldn't worry about him trying to hurt them. So that's why I really do like Squeak. I can use him for videos and things, and I can catch him and show you guys how to give a cow a bath and get him ready for a show and things, and not have to worry about being kicked. Like this bugger right here. This bugger is going to try to kick me if I tried to give her a bath, or if I put a kid near her. She doesn't even want to come anywhere near me. If I just look in her direction, she wants to run the other way. I've caught a kick from her twice, and I can tell you 2 times was 2 times too many. It hurt. So she's just about a pet until she's old enough to possibly reproduce one day. I'll see what we're going to do with her and where she's going to go and placements for her and things. But she's not going to stay here because this is a hobby for me. And having a hobby cow that's just kind of sitting in the pen and not doing anything is a little tough. Because, again, if a kid got in here or something and she decided she wanted to kick, I just don't like the idea of it at all. So I've just kind of stayed away from doing much with Sprinkles because I don't feel like hurting myself, honestly. I'm 18. I don't feel like breaking my leg or getting knocked out or being put in the hospital by a cow this size, you know? Or look at the size difference of the two. Friendly, right here is friendly, not so friendly. So sorry about my little rant, and this is probably the most chaotic video. Oh, baby. I just accidentally dropped the brush. The most chaotic video that I've made, but I just figured I'd talk a little bit about the cows just for fun. But Squeak's also dehorned, so he doesn't have horns, which also lessens the risk of me potentially dying one day. Squeaky Weeky. He likes looking at the phone. Can you see yourself in there, bud? He's chewing. What are you chewing? Oh, yum. Delicious slobber. Huh, Squeaky? I don't know if he'll... Hold on. So I can't get Squeak to come over because he's eating, but this one decided to come over. And I'm like bent down on the ground, so we can't really trust her at head height. So I'm kind of staying away from her, but she's definitely pretty. She's set up beautifully. She's pretty. Hi, Sprinkles. She's pretty, but I just wish I could, like, you know, do stuff with her. Because once I get up and approach her very slow, she'll let me pet her for a second, and then that's it. You know, I'm not going at her or, you know, running at her or reaching my hand up real quick. She just kind of decides she doesn't want to be pet after being touched once. Now, Squeak, on the other hand, does not move away. He just stands here to be loved on. Look at those legs. Look at those chunky legs. Hi, buddy. Hi, buddy. He's a good boy. Let me just zoom you guys out. Here you go. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. He's a good boy. Oh, does that feel good on your nose? This probably would feel good. Look at that. That probably would feel good. On that nice, thick coat you got there, bud. Geesh. My brush, like, submerged in there. Look at that. Look at that. Good boy. Look at you looking all pretty. Squeaky boy. But yeah, I love Squeak. And then he just steps closer to me. And now he's going to get some flies off him. Yep. Sniffing me. Sniffing the brush. He wants a taste of that. He's chewing his cud. I don't know if you can hear him kind of regurgitating it, which means throwing it up. So basically, really weird thing about cows is Squeak is, again, right next to me. So the really weird thing about cows is that they have... Now, people say cows have 4 stomachs. They don't. Cows have 1 stomach. But within the 1 stomach, they have 4 compartments in it. Hold on. So, let me just put these away. So basically, I'll tell you what chewing his cud is. So cows have 1 stomach, but within the stomach, they have 4 compartments in the stomach. So in those 4 compartments, there's different processes that they go through digesting their food. One of the processes is actually chewing the food, swallowing it, digesting it a bit, and then throwing it back up, which is what regurgitation is. Regurgitation is the like scientific term for throwing up. So regurgitation is when they throw their food back up, chew it all over again, and then swallow it. So that is what he's doing right now. So when they eat hay, grain, grass, or anything, they chew it, swallow it, throw it back up, chew it more, swallow it again. And that's kind of how the process goes for very long periods of time. They do that whenever they eat. So they chew for quite a bit. So a lot of chewing going on. Cows also only have bottom teeth, which is also weird. So cows have teeth here, no teeth at the top part. So it's kind of funny when you lift their lip up because there's no teeth. So they kind of have a weird mouth, unlike horses have top and bottom teeth. But cows only have bottom teeth. And now he's getting some water. They do not throw their water back up, just so you guys know. But they drink similar to, so what I've noticed is they drink like a dog and a horse. So sometimes they use their tongue and they like drink it like a dog, and then other times they just gulp it like a horse. So it kind of depends. Maybe it depends on how thirsty they are too, so that's something. So yeah, that's a little bit about cows. I hope you enjoyed my video. I mean, like I said, it's chaotic, but I figured I'd talk about the cows a little bit and show why I'm keeping Squeak and why I don't think he needs to become a hamburger. So yeah, thanks for watching.